During our time at the ST Octane Academy last year, we vowed to be back to drive the Mustang.
So when Ford Performance invited us to their one-day school, which promised a full day of track time in the Mustang GT, we jumped at the chance.
Unlike the ST Octane school, this is open to anyone wanting to learn to drive on track. While some of the people in the class own Mustangs, it's not a requirement, and everyone but us had never been on track before.
As always, things start with class time and quickly flow into the lead foul laps to introduce all of us to the East track configuration at Utah Motorsports campus.
Lead follow can be frustrating if you get behind a timid person. Thankfully, they've solved this by rotating the cars between laps, which means everyone gets time right behind the instructors. And this was just the beginning.
It was nice to follow the instructor and really see, oh, this turn is an early apex, that turn is a late apex. So it's good to get in the cars early in the day and just start feeling everything.
You may remember last year we did a couple of skid pad tests and some other kind of apex marking tests. This is a step beyond that. We're not doing the skid pad test. There goes Paul. We're not doing the skid pad test, but we are doing an increasing and decreasing radius spotting test.
Green cone is our apex cone.
Okay.
So we're going to want to make sure that we have that as our objective as we approach.
All right. So this is the increasing radius. So you got to sight for that guy and open accordingly, and I didn't do that one well at all.
That's good. Your experience is showing so far. The movements are smooth and steady. So
well, like I said, it helps to have a refresh, and I like that we build up to things throughout the day.
Braking and looking early. That is making all the difference.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
There we go.
Much
Thinking about it, being deliberate about things.
So again, we're talking about, a couple of tire widths, but that couple of tire widths, in the end, we can get them, let's take them.
It's funny, it's just so counterintuitive how we normally street drive, and it's just, whatever. Exactly right. It's all commute driving, which is the worst.
Teaching really is fun because it reminds you of so many things that you should be picking up that you don't necessarily pick up when you're actually driving.
Right.
Okay, that was 2 times in a row. They were much better. You feel that little subtlety there?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a little bit better angle at the apex, and it's going to mean speed at the exit.
That's funny because you talk to different instructors and they'll tell you slightly different things, but the rules still apply here. And it's good, even though we're both eager to get on track and we're ready to get out there and start pushing hard, it's good for the refresh.
But first, an old friend was waiting for us.
I knew we'd do skid car today. I just knew it.
Seats in the upright and lock position, it's gonna get nuts.
It's nice and dry and sunny out, good road conditions.
Until it suddenly turns to ice.
Faster hands, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it.
Not gonna happen. You knew he was gonna get me. You knew he wanted to get me. So Donnie has told us this simulates 120 mile an hour slide at 20 miles an hour.
Uh-oh, I hear pistons changing. It's only gonna get worse from here. Surprisingly, I see as nice a day as it is.
So keep looking ahead, even through it, wait for that pause, keep looking ahead.
So 90 is too far.
Oh, you got right to 90. Oh, big skin in and flick, look at where you're looking. Excellent. All right.
This is such a reinforcement of eyes up the track. Instructors keep telling us that, you keep hearing it, but when you do, your steering smooths out, everything smooths out about your driving, and you're actually going faster at that point. So continually, this is such a reaffirmation of eyes up the track.
And we're looking 2 or 3 gates ahead on this exercise just to stay ahead of the car, and we still sometimes can't get it right.
With a full afternoon of track time still ahead of us, they fueled the cars, fed us lunch, and then it was back on track.
The cars that we have are, I'd argue this is the perfect school car. It's got all the interior, so it's somewhat comfortable, it's not intimidating, but it's got a bunch of power and makes great noise. So,
it feels like you're...
Yes, it's not as though we're giving you something that's, oh, you get to start in the lane one.
And when we get onto a racetrack, we want to accelerate onto the racetrack. We don't want to lose our way on. We want to make sure we make our way in.
We don't want to do the average person's on-ramp, is that what you're saying?
We don't want
Got it.
Brakes now. Look for your apex. Back on the gas. Nice work. Open your hands as you accelerate. Hey, really smooth through there. That was good work.
Thanks, sir.
So think about a big jug of water here. Try to keep the water as stable as possible.
Okay, all right.
Okay, and that should be on really any braking zone. So we really want to transition on and off the brakes as smoothly as we can. Accelerate as you straight. Use the room at the exit. Brakes easy. Right back on the gas. Good. Use the room at the exit. Good. And brakes easy, not too hard. Ease out of the brakes. Ease out of the brakes. Middle of the track. Up top. All the way to the right. All the way to the right. Back across. We're just not getting up to the top as far as we need to.
And that's why, and that's killing me here.
And it's killing your exit speed.
Okay, all right.
You're right, just a touch later.
Yep. And you're better off being on the brakes earlier so you can be back on the gas earlier there. Don't try to rush or get into the brakes too late. Okay. Brakes, late apex here.
You're right, a little bit
Late on the
later
second
there.
one. Yep, really late on the second one. Now we'll build our speed down the hill. Perfect. On the gas. So yeah, really, if we can get the braking transition good, you've got good lines through the corner, your vision's actually pretty good.
I can be a little bit less aggressive.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could actually get on the brakes probably 6 or 8 car lengths before you were, and still beat you to the turn.
Still be faster.
So we're using aggressiveness in an area. It just doesn't make any difference in terms of overall speed.
Sure, interesting, okay.
So I go out with Dan McKeever, and I admit, you know, when you have an instructor, you don't want to come across as not knowing anything. You want your experience to shine through. On the other hand, you don't want to try to overdo it so the instructor's going, okay, calm down, you're a little too much. I might have been a little bit eager on some of my turns. I was, you know, a little bit, initial turning was too soon.
My transition out of my braking is not nearly smooth enough, and I have a tendency to kind of upset the car there, especially when I'm pushing hard. So I've got to work on that, and then there's a couple places on this track. There's one specifically, it's like a double apex corner. In my sight line, I'm not coming out of it as smoothly as I can. That's what's so great about instructors, is sitting with them and having them go, no, improve that.
However, it's a fine line because it depends on the car, depends on the track conditions, as the tires are wearing. So he said, just it's a smidge too early, but no harm, and always, after you hit the apex, you're always unwinding. Because if you're not, the person behind you is. They are catching you.
Different instructors match my driving style and others don't. So try to take something from every one of them and then try to apply what actually feels natural to me inside what I'm being told, and then not have your head explode. That helps too.
Next was a final short class section focused on corners you were having trouble with or questions about the track. Then they put us in the cars and cut us loose.
Yeah, it's fun to get all this instruction and now go put it together on track and make it happen. This is fantastic.
All right, last session of the day is go out and go for it. It's trying to keep passing out of the equations. If you come behind somebody, they ask you to actually do a slow roll through the pits just to give yourself more space. That's happened a couple times at this point.
This is it. These are our last laps. All right, so this corner here is just to settle the car. Yep, I can feel it.
So I'm trying to mainly work on transitions and smoothness in this car right now. There we go, that's a little better, that's a little better.
Is there a perfect lap? Is there such a thing? I'm consistently impressed with this Mustang, how solid and fresh it feels. The steering is light. There's not a lot of information. The car goes where you point it, but all right, later apex, later fall, later.
You're at a downshift, heel toe downshift in the middle of all the rest of this madness. That's where things get even more complex and it becomes even more difficult to to not disrupt the smooth transitions of the car. Now, I mean, that's what we love, right? Is trying to figure it out and get all that right. That is really spectacular to be able to do that. What are you sad about here? What is this problem with you in the 4,000 range? Coming down the front straight, I don't know, it's not giving me all the power that I want.
Who's that? That's car 19. That is not Todd. He has passed this car. I got some catching up to do here. Yep. Good.
That was better, good. All right, hey, love it when improvement happens, and they've just called it. That's the end of the session.
I think I want to try slicks. This makes me want to try slicks.
Some of what we've covered here was covered in the ST Octane Academy, but I highly recommend something like this because you just end up doing speeds you probably wouldn't have done otherwise. There's always stuff you can improve on.
What a day. Man, thanks to these Ford Performance Race School instructors, they are on top of their game. They really know what they're doing.
So any day on track is a good day. I don't care if you've been there before, I don't care what car you brought, I don't care who you went with. The fact that you were on track makes it a good day.
Yeah, thanks to the Ford Performance Racing School and the entire staff here, we've been able to do this again with proper rear-wheel drive cars. And I actually said this in my interview, I'm liking this so much, I want to try slicks. I do. Really? I can feel each tread block squirming as I'm putting all this knowledge together. It's great.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. We did that ST Octane Academy. You probably saw that film a year ago. If you bought a Fiesta or a Focus or your journalists, those are your options again in this program. This program, you can just come. Now, last year it was called Miller Motorsports Park. This year it's called Utah Motorsports Campus. Next year, I don't know, but Fords are here and you can drive them. I mean, here's the thing. Anytime we get on track, new instructors, new day, I learn something every single time. We're not claiming to be amazing. We want to be amazing, but honestly, the instructors here talk about how, well, yeah, I rode with this guy and I'm learning this. It never ends, but you've got to start somewhere, and this is a great place.
What are you doing wearing a blue suit?
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't be
it's
in
like
blue.
We're driving Fords. The blue oval. The
really?
blue
Are you sure? We're driving Fords? I didn't notice.
How many logos can we get in the shot?
Yeah, right. There are many. We could count them. There's an Easter egg for you. Count the logos.
Count the logos.
Anyway,
we don't even know, so whatever you come up with is...
We're going to call it 5.
That's the answer.
Yeah. All right.